it's a little dark in here. Let's see if I can do this a little. And I still might just leave it like this, because as long as y'all can hear me, okay? It seem okay. Tune in, y'all. Tune in, tune in, tune in. Now, like I said, this is still a little too bright for my liking. It's too early for all that. Tune in, y'all. The title says exactly what it says. I know a lot of people are going through, the works right now when it comes to high emotion and fear mongering and not knowing which way to believe or lean. But at one point, you have to stop being gullible and stop understanding false authority, okay? Because there's nothing meant to be understood about false authority, okay? You've been given real authority or you haven't. Like I said, a lot of people who are still trying to use whitewashed mechanisms, okay, such as tarot cards and other things to communicate to each other, are pretty much one of the main reasons why a lot of women still stay stuck in spaces, being confused about why things aren't going a certain way. And like I said, after a while, it's really hard to sit back and watch a lot of women get more lost. A lot of women sit up here and do things like love spell readings all day and different things that are very, very, very whitewashed. Okay, it has nothing to do with real power and authority. Now, for those people who like to play, okay, with their power and authority, I mean, you welcome to do that. Okay, you welcome to play and entertain yourselves. But spirituality, okay, just like femininity, has become performative, very performative. So if you don't want to acknowledge that, that's fine. But there are more women out here who perform their spirituality than are actually spiritual. And this is one of the biggest parts in certain communities. And y'all know which community I'm talking about, okay? Now, tune in, hit the like button, don't be a hater, because I said what I said, okay? If you are not part of a coven or a witch bloodline, literally, why are you trying to give advice about spirituality? Why are you acting on the behalf or as a median or so on and so forth? A lot of people do not understand that in order to actually be initiated as a witch, okay, this still comes from actually being learned and practiced around women who are part of a coven. Okay, nobody can initiate you but women who are part of a coven. So a lot of these women who come on here in their performative femininity, their performative spirituality, have no idea what they're talking about, which is why past a certain point, they're calling out to cards and weird things, hoping that they will give you messages. That is literally no different than a preacher, than a cosplayer, okay, or anything else. Okay, if you had a connection, you wouldn't be using an intercessor that is whitewashed and pretty much not of yourself. Okay, now people are going to say things like, well, there are black people on the cards. We do not communicate the same way other people do. Okay, we don't. Okay, and we definitely don't communicate by things that are printed. Okay, hey Khaleesi, how you doing, sweetie? And I said what I said. A lot of people think that it's actually, not that much to it, but it is. That's why a lot of these people end up on the same side, if you want to put it, as women in church who are loud, overbearing, masculine. And if you pay attention to a lot of the tarot card readers, even the ones that particularly try to paint themselves as calm and things like that, they're just like preachers. They focus on very, very specific areas that are prone to themselves. Okay, so be careful, because most closet witches and so on and so forth do not care about others. They care about okay, what they're speaking over themselves. So that's usually what they're speaking on. They're not speaking to a collective. Their collective is their ego, no different than Christians and so on and so forth, okay? I'm just going to help you out because, like I said, it's necessary. You can't play with stuff like that. And if you want to, you're still going to lead a lot more people astray than we need, okay? And a lot of people are playing with spirituality just like they're playing in their femininity. And it's not meant to be played with. Play with your femininity all you want, but stop leading people astray who actually want clarity and real authority in their power in womanhood, okay? I'm wonderful, Khaleesi. How are you, sweetie? As y'all come in, please hit that like button. Y'all, I'm finna chill out this morning. I am going to be doing, okay, a spell with you guys this morning if you guys are wanting to join. Okay, you are more than welcome. Please do be respectful. If you're a moderator and you're going to be chilling, when you see people come in who do not fit, okay, any of the energy of what's going on here, you are more than welcome to remove them at your leisure, okay? I just don't really have time for the trolls and so on and so forth. After a while, it becomes very, very disheartening that so many people have nothing but time to, well, waste. Especially those people who say they believe in Jesus and so on and so forth, but they keep finding their way to my channel. Okay, so if Jesus led you here, I doubt it. Okay, you can't serve two masters. And a lot of people are absolutely serving two masters, all the way down to people who think they could use tarot cards and be fake religious. And so a lot of people need to stop leading people astray. Okay, that's actually creating bad karma for yourself. So if you don't know what you're talking about, seek assistance, seek guidance, because that will actually help you in your journey much more than you think it will. Okay, I always say I don't care what I know. If I don't know something directly or if I'm confused about anything, I'm not going to relate anything to y'all. Okay, I'm going to put you in the right direction of someone who knows better. I feel like that's the safest thing to do when it comes to craft. Okay, that's like working on a power line, okay, and you just don't want to ask, you being hard-headed, knowing that the mistakes you make, okay, can give you the shock of your life, okay, and that's not a good shock. You see what I'm saying? So you can't hop into things that are real, okay, and have real, okay, consequences spiritually, and that's usually life or death, or the I guess you could say speeding up, okay, of your time here, which is already being done on every level. Now, a lot of people don't get the essence of time because the time in different realms is different than here. But for the people who don't get this, the more time you spend, okay, listening to uninitiated women, priestesses, and so on and so forth, the more time you're going to spend battling and having to undo a lot of rituals, okay? And when I say rituals, a lot of women don't look at it the way it really is. When you get used to readings, okay, only hearing those readings over and over and consistently are going to make you feel a certain way. But you're not made to be read. You're not a book. You're not. You're not made to be read in that way. In fact, your spirituality should be so sacred to you as a woman, especially in a world where everyone and their mother, they daddy, they brothers are trying to walk in your essence as women. Okay? I don't care what y'all say. There's no such thing as gay. Gay has nothing to do with the fact that you want to have sex with a man. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. You know what it is? It's the fact that gay is a way for men, okay, to co-sign and adopt everything about femininity that has nothing to do with malehood. Okay, so you can call things gay all you want to. I just side-eye things that want to walk in my essence, okay, but not give me reverence. You can call it what you want to, okay? Because it's sad to this day, a lot of women don't understand. Gay men will never give you credit for being their source of inspiration. They will always give it to each other. This is all the way down to Christianity, all the way down to why men still will not allow things like kindergarten through 12 and things to be taken out of schools, even though scholars aren't really awarded the way people think they are, which is why there are several millions of people with degrees, and none of them have ever got a job, a skill, a trade in those degrees. Okay, they're absolutely useless. It's useless knowledge. And that is the same way most of your tarot card readers and so on and so forth work. They're not giving you useful knowledge. What they're doing is gaining a collective of what a lot of women are going through, and they're choosing topics and readings based off of what they believe a lot of women are going through. Now, if you pay attention to what's going on the internet, okay, and like I said, we're just going to give you some free game, okay? Based on what you see on the internet, you see a whole lot of 4B movement. You see a whole lot of child-free movement, a whole lot of stressed out single mother movements. You see all of those, okay? So I need you to think about what you really see out here, okay? And what you really see out here are these things, okay? I've never done tarot cards because tarot cards aren't real spirituality. They're not for black witches. Tarot cards are for white people, okay? They are. They go all the way back to the medieval times of white people, of the peasantry, and all of the things you see on those tarot cards usually. People who try to reinvent tarot cards also get nowhere because it's still not done in your likeness. So it is what it is. Tarot cards are not for real spiritualists. Real spiritualists use the actual spirit. Why would I need a card? Point me to the source. Okay? They can't point you to the source because they're not connected to one, and that's my point. People who are not really connected to a source use intercessors. Their intercessor will be things that they believe have power or truth in them. So they're relying on those tools to give them, well, a reason for you to listen to them or trust what they're saying more than you would trust someone else. And at this point, just like I told you, just like femininity, spirituality is being performed, which is why you see so many women on here who look like they literally just woke up, rolled out of bed, and they're talking about tarot cards. Most of the time, they are acting in ego. And a lot of the things they're talking about, they'll say things like, I sense someone in here that you're dealing with a fake person, okay? That person in your life, they are not talking from a place of truth. They're talking from a place of, I'm going to talk about what I think women are going through because I'm a woman and I know what women think. And they're also acting in terms of hoping to gain something from you, okay? Women of real spiritual power, we're not gaining anything from putting you in alignment other than the fact that a lot of people have to get re-broken down after they realize they've been off course. And for me, that's not a pleasurable thing. It also doesn't start with abundance. It doesn't start with manifesting. You can't manifest when you haven't shed the things of you that are going to cause you to be at a standstill in the first place. So if you have not shed those spirits, imagine pretending that you're going to walk in abundance and favor and graces, okay, without actually having to do the work to get that. It's way more than using wordplay, which is why some people do a lot of this. And after all that talking, look at America. Okay, a lot of people's magic was never magic. It was just convincing themselves something was working. And for the people who believe it, what they believe in is hearsay. No different than black people who still quote the Bible. It's like watching people just quote hearsay. Now, if I woke up and said, you know what, I'm a millionaire, every day I wake up, I'm a millionaire, you could say that shit forever. That ain't gonna make you no millionaire. Since you don't know how elements work, okay, you actually have to be connected to elements for things to work for you. And one thing about words, they're of the air, okay? Everybody breathes the air, okay? Words travel to and fro and so on and so forth, but it's not, okay, the air that gives things power. It's authority. Okay, so you can say whatever you want to until it actually comes to pass. It's hearsay, and it's always been hearsay. Now, I need you to think about things like the Bible and the people that have put their hands all up and down and through it and kneaded the Bible like it's dough so that it can fit the agendas they're in control of pushing on the whole world, whether it is obesity and gluttony, whether it is hypersexuality, okay, whether it is sin and sin again, okay, whether it is adultery, whether it is pedophilia, okay, y'all know what's up, okay, all of the deadly sins are controlled by the people who push those same sins on you and then call themselves the judges of you when you commit them. Okay, meanwhile, I need you to understand who controls the image of what they're saying is coming to pass. Who gave you the Bible? Who printed the Bible? What companies print? Do you understand whose knowledge is it? And thy knowledge is always perverted thee because thy are perverted. Okay, look at America, one of the most perverted places you could ever live. They don't even penalize people that really do things to children. They put them on a list called a SMEX offender list. Okay, and then we'll turn around and put you in prison and stuff for 20, 30, 40 years for stuff like this. And y'all still have convinced yourselves that these people can give you things that have real authority. When you demonize something that literally grows from the ground while trying to purposely go against the ground so hard, you had to create GMO stuff because you are going against everything natural. So, do y'all catch my drift of what I'm saying? Okay, people, okay, who are unnatural, okay, who lack color in a world full of color where everything has color cannot guide you in our realms. Okay, in order to speak from our realms, in order to speak to us per bloodline, for us to actually be able to connect with what you're saying, you have to come from our essence. So, for the people who are still saying people are people, if that was the case, there would never have been a need to ever bring up the theory of race to begin with. So, if you want to still convince yourself that you have nothing to do with the theory of race, ask yourself when they're going to stop asking it on every single application. Ask yourself when the world is stop going to use black people to culture themselves while also throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Okay? I don't care who it is. Most of your countries are anti-black. I don't care where you come from or where you come to in America. I'm from India. I'm from Mexico. I'm from China. I don't give a fuck where you're from. Those places are anti-black. So why would you come to a land full of original black people trying to bring those mentalities with you and thinking you're going to create good karma for yourself and your bloodlines here on top of our ancestors' roots to this day, by the way, because roots don't just disappear. After all, you wouldn't have anything to walk on if those roots should disappear. Okay? And one thing about roots, they're living. They don't die. So imagine all the people that's going to play shocked when those roots probably swallow your asses up. Okay, then you're going to be acting like it's just a tragedy. The tragedy was you pretending you could come here and walk in the essence of something greater than you. You can't come last and think that you should be first. How does that work? And to the women who have never done the work of being initiated, I'm gonna need you to sit your uninitiated, curious asses down because usually you still come from a point of wanting to be seen in a higher light than people. You have not done the shadow work more than to be in that higher light. So I say again, please don't ever give me a name and a face because I will probably have a doll with your essence in it. Okay? I don't care about none of that. Okay? I'm one of those people. Okay? And I love to travel. If I need to come get some personal items, I might just do it. Okay? Because real, okay, sorcery is not made to be mocked. And I will say again, I don't mock anything because I am of what I say I am of. So there's no need to do reads when you are that you are. What are you reading? Spirits are made to be felt. Just like witches don't ride brooms, we ride people. Real authority allows you to do that. Only people that couldn't ride people had to say they ride brooms. It's okay. I'm sure you've never heard that baby got a witch riding its back. Okay? A lot of y'all, when y'all having bad dreams, it's not a bad dream, baby. That's us. Okay? Because one thing about dreams, how quickly they can become a nightmare when you've lived in dreams too long. And when you go to sleep, most of you guys are in a coma state. When I sleep, I roam. Okay, because that is what I am most familiar with, the death realm. And one thing about being in the land of the living and the dead at the same time, which is what we are, okay, you're in purgatory, baby. You're welcome. You already, okay, have died your first death. Okay, now if you're a black person, you've already died your first death. Okay, I'm gonna let you know you have. Okay, now let me help you out. What people don't understand is everybody that's black did not come from a black bloodline. A lot of people are black out of karma from how they did black people. Okay, how would you know if you are an original black person? Well, if you're a black person, you're going to have a birthmark that is dark. Okay, everybody has a birthmark. Okay, what everybody doesn't have is a death mark, but I'll get to that next. If you're black, your birthmark is going to be darker than you. You're going to see it. I don't care if it's on your face. I don't care if it's on your ass cheek. I don't care if it's on your thigh. You have a birthmark, and that is actually your death mark. Okay, yeah, that's your death mark. That's your death note. Now, if you are a black person and you have a birthmark that is lighter than you used to be white when you were here. So whoever you offended, okay, they said, bitch, I got something for you. And you probably had a hard time being black your whole life too. I can just imagine the people who don't understand why you have a disconnect from your flesh. Okay, baby. Okay, stop playing with it. But imagine coming here for a second, third, fourth time and still not understanding that you have to embrace duality. There's no such thing as only light. Bitch, have you not seen the night sky with the moon in it? If there is light, bitch, there is darkness. Imagine people, okay, in this world full of color, knowing that there will always be shade and my black ass always gonna be the one to throw it. Do you understand? You can't take me out of duality because only one of us were given the ability to be a part of both. I am a part of the sun. That's why the sun doesn't burn me. But guess what? You're not. Okay, certain people can spray tan themselves to death. You were not given the authority of duality. I am. Okay, you have to be of both to do that. Okay, that means you have to have a certain level of light, a certain level of dark, but you also must be able to be seen in the lights, and you also must be able to blend in with the dark. Now, for you, only one of us, okay, can disappear into the dark. Okay, but for one of you, the night made it to where I can see your ass at all times. That's why I was given the moon. Who do you think that is? Because if I hide behind a tree, disappeared I will be. But why do you think to certain black people, white people stepping out of the darkness in trees just looks very, the fuck are you doing in there? Okay? Get your ass out of there. Don't pop out of no, why are you in there? Okay? Y'all can take that how y'all want to. Okay? I don't care what you say. Ain't nobody who ain't never wanted to work the land themselves having no higher connection to anything of the elements of land, and definitely not the water you keep tainting. Okay? I said what I said. If you want to be upset, well, you would have to be upset with yourself first, because one thing about truth, well, it comes from a place of what's done in the dark. So if you're mad about what you've been doing in the dark, you probably shouldn't have been doing it, should you? Tisk tisk. And I'll say again, listening to closet witches and tarot card readers is no different than listening to a preacher talk about things that have been given to them by the hands of the same people who will give you nothing, not even your real last names, your real spirituality. They still want to own you in every aspect because they want to convince you we're so smart and ahead of you. We have to control everything about you. We are your law. We are your, no one has given you that authority. And until black people usually realize that, you're always going to be walking in false authority. Okay? Tarot cards, false authority. You know what real authority is? Let somebody piss you off. Okay? do what you need to do in the spiritual realm, you ain't gonna have to talk to nobody. You ain't gonna have to post about it on Facebook. You won't even need a Facebook. Okay? The real definition of I'ma see about you. Okay? So imagine when people don't understand power because they've given you black portals that have convinced you you have at your fingertips power. That's cute. Okay, but while they over here using these portals to get all your business, I'm using these portals to roam your dreams. Okay, to look at your karma, to watch how a lot of y'all be in the process of sleeping with y'all enemies. Okay, one thing about dreams, you gonna have them regardless of if your ass remember them or not. And a lot of y'all don't know how hard y'all astral project. And a lot of y'all be walking right with spirits y'all don't even know. Okay, a lot of y'all literally have already met the person that's going to destroy your marriage. You've already met them in your dreams. You don't remember. Okay, a lot of spirits have followed y'all home through these portals. So you better be careful about who's using these because I use them as well. And if I'm using this, but I don't have the energy to waste on people that are not worth things that I don't want sent back to me. So if I don't have a doll or something to put it in or the time to do it in my moon cycles, I don't make time for it. But there are always spirits, okay, in places a lot of you can't get to unless you spiritually are already there. Okay, that have attached to you. Every time some of y'all go to sleep, y'all coming back with shit. And it's to the point where y'all don't understand. I am getting to a point where I'm tired of seeing y'all in my realm. Okay, I don't sleep much, but when I do, I get tired of seeing things there that don't belong. Why are you here? Okay, some of y'all are straddling the line between life and death. I know because I'm cooler with death than life. Okay, that's why life purposely keeps me alive a little bit longer. I don't sleep much because, baby, I love sleep. Don't you ever get me comfortable with anything of death. I love her. Okay, you can't be scared of something you got to go back to forever. How dare you? It's offensive. But one thing about death, how close you are to her depends on your karma. Because, like I said, death is an element by herself. She cool, she chill. Okay, she just come through, do her job. She don't want no extras. She's that type of chill person. It's karma that's messy. Okay, but you create your karma. So don't get mad at death. Death gonna come do her job, but karma gonna be doing it messily. Fuck her. Let me talk about her, cause this bitch didn't fuck with her kids. She fucked up all her kids, and she's sleeping with this nigga. And yeah, he married. And yes, karma is messy. Okay, death is chill. A lot of y'all have been on the bad side of karma, but you think things like Jesus and shit is gonna get in the way of your karma. How dare you? How dare you even play with us like that? How dare you? You better stop listening to your white-faced liar, devil friends. Because most of them can't pass away and come to the realms we go to. That's why they keep coming here. And every time they come, it's going to get worse and worse. And a lot of you guys are trapped in the in-between because you keep saying yes to this fucking realm. So a lot of us have to come back and get your dusty ass. Okay? So I'm going to need y'all to take the time to listen because if you didn't know, the generations are getting shorter. Thank God. Because a lot of you guys are going to be trapped here with the people you serve. We're tired of coming to get you. You can't come get something that don't want to be God. So I'm gonna need y'all to find yourselves before you end up becoming, okay, a part of the very things you keep saying yes to, generation after generation, because, well, that's what you've become anyway, whitewashed. They use these portals to whitewash you, as well as survey you at the same time. So there's not nothing you're doing that they don't know about. They taught you to post it. You can't even have fucking dinner with your kids without posting it. Hell, you can't even barely take a bath without posting your routine for how you're taking it. Imagine using a black mirror to post all your fucking business and you don't understand that this is something that was used for people who don't have no power. This is their power. The only power they have is an intercessor. They need an intercessor. Okay, this is an intercessor. Okay, but For every false intercessor, there's a real one. I'm a real intercessor. Okay, so I'm gonna use this portal for what I need it for. It will never do the opposite. Okay, that's authority. But imagine when you haven't been given authority, which is why you're still on here searching. Okay, when you are found, okay, you go from being, okay, the prey to the predator. Okay, most of y'all are being preyed upon. And it's not you you're searching, it's the spirits you've taken on that are looking for things in these portals. And they're posting your energy in lots of different side portals on here. Think of it like this. Have y'all ever clicked on a video on here and all of the comments are from 2 years ago? They ain't had a single comment. You might see a comment from maybe a month ago, 4 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. I need you to understand something. Most of those people are trapped in that time period. You probably ain't gonna talk to none of them again because a lot of them are dead, okay? And a lot of them are not here. All of them are not real. See, one thing about energy, it cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. Be careful who you talking to in this bitch. Everybody ain't us. Okay, some things hide behind intercessors. Okay, and one thing about your intercessors, it relies heavily on what you're connecting the sole of your feet to and the palms of your hands. Okay, so a lot of times you don't know who you're going to bring back with you because y'all are staring right into the whoever's you're connecting with on here. Okay, yes, you're giving them power. A lot of you guys are talking to people that are dead on these portals. Their energy cannot die in these portals. Okay, they don't know they're dead, a lot of them. That is what trapped energy is. Okay, so some of y'all need to be careful when you ain't as smart as you think you are. Stop distracting from the people who are trying to put you on game for real. These are portals, and a lot of y'all need to get y'all dumb ass off of them. You're not strong enough to be on here in the first place. That's why they gave it to you. If you had sense, it wouldn't be too much time you'd be spending on here. You'd be spending more time with your family. You damn sure wouldn't be posting your whole family on here. You ain't got to hate me. I'm just going to tell you the truth because, well, I don't have a lie in me to tell. That's why sometimes people consider bluntness, oh, you're mean, I don't have that in me. So if I'm offensive to you, it's because one thing about truth, it hurts. Okay, if you ain't never been told the truth, bitch, I am your pain. Okay, that's probably why my name is Joy. I'm absolutely the opposite. And I would hate to have to give you the opposite of joy. Okay, and what is the opposite of joy? You find that out. And if you didn't know, Joy is my real name, not my fake one. Okay, and all names have power. You better act like you know the opposite of your names, regardless of if you think you have one. You do. Okay, this is about duality. This ain't about games. Only one person of a non-hue is playing with everybody else's reality and forgot just because your shit ain't real, we still really out here. Okay, in the name of Abe and the Lasega Babaya Legba, I am telling you, we out here. We ain't never left. But a lot of you guys are about to leave. You don't have a choice because you're not waking the fuck up. So when you don't wake up, we have to let you stay here because you're not waking up is from being trapped here spiritually. We're not going to be trapped with you. Okay? A lot of you guys have the understanding of an ant. Okay, you are many members of the same body, and that body is a lie. That lie comes from the same people who gave you these portals. Okay, I said what I said. There, there's a place where you get to an alignment where you understand that you cannot stay in a place that's made to harness your energy. This is an energy harvester. This is not your friend. Okay, I know y'all don't understand mirrors, but let me help you understand something. Don't look in the mirror too long. Okay, mirrors work the same way these portals do. But I'm going to tell you something else that a lot of people forget. These portals are a reflection of you. Okay? So there's not one thing these people don't understand about your essence because these portals were made to trap your essence in it. Why do you think AI came along? They were always made to record you in unnatural ways so that your energy can be trapped and they can create it and destroy it and transfer it as needed. Okay, so a lot of y'all are being destroyed spiritually by these same little apps. Okay, why do you think they're called applications? They're applying something to you. And what it is loss of power, loss of authority, loss of thought, freedom of expression. And you're in the process of losing your physical rights because they've already harnessed your spiritual ones. Yeah, and your mental ones too. So when they take these portals away, a lot of y'all are going to be dying inside because your real essence are trapped in these portals. So imagine how dead the world's going to become when they don't have these portals and access to them. And your energy is in them, and you know that. Okay? You may not understand that now, but you'll understand it later. Okay? It's coming. And for those of you who don't understand, I love darkness. Some of you guys better get used to it because darkness is going to be the very thing that's going to help a lot of you guys see your light for the first time. Or, okay, the fact that a lot of you guys are just cowards hiding behind fake light. Because, like I said, real darkness and truth isn't in everybody. That's why the saying, all kinfolk ain't skinfolk, is very real. So, for black people, certain people know themselves much better than you. You don't know yourself. If you did, you would understand why I say you better stop listening to all of the wolves in sheep's clothing. And most of the ones that are in sheep's clothing are still hiding behind whitewashed ideologies. So whether it's the church, whether it's politics, whether it's education, okay, whether it is vanity, whether it is fake exoticizing themselves, whatever it is, they're usually hiding behind something that comes from the whitewashing, okay, of their mental state. Okay? So be careful about who you're listening to on these portals. They're not your friends. Okay? A lot of you guys could probably talk to your own ancestors on here, how far back a lot of your energy has been trapped here. A lot of y'all have been trapped here for probably since the early 2000s and so on and so forth when these things even became popular. Sadly, because, well, your energy relies here. You stay here. A lot of you guys know these places and the maps of these portals better than you know your own children. I wouldn't be here lying to you. When a lot of you guys sleep, you're not supposed to go to certain places. The places that a lot of people are ending up, they're not of us. They've never been of us. For the people who keep thinking that you can keep coming here and fucking over your bloodlines, you will be barren very soon. A lot of you guys are already in the process of becoming barren, and you don't even understand that. It's not always the government that's taking stuff away from y'all. Sometimes it's us. You don't need them. We do. And one thing about babies, their power is much greater because it's pure. So why would we allow you to unpure something that you have already proved you can't, well, exalt and be grateful for? So a lot of people don't understand. You think you created 4B. No. Watch how soon in the next couple years most of you guys can't have children. As much and as freaky as you will become and have become, you will be shocked at how we're not sending anything to you spiritually because your connection is disconnected. You see this 1313 up here? Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to get in alignment. Okay, because sometimes things can be a blessing for some and a curse for others. Find out which side of the receiving end you're on. Okay? And like I said, you're more than welcome to ask any questions that you have. And I'm not talking game at all. Okay? One thing about games, you actually have to be playing those. okay, to be talking game. And I'm not here to play no games, and games don't play me, okay? Probably why I don't have children yet. I don't like to play, okay? I don't do readings. I do death notes. Okay, so if you're not ready to find out how you're killing yourself or how you're going to be deleted by the spiritual things around you, you may not want to come to me because I might hurt your feelings. I'm not here to be biased. I don't have opinions. Okay, my opinions are based on facts. So I won't tell you about anything I don't know about. And if I don't know, I will point you in a higher positioned woman of authority who can do just that because that's what you're supposed to do. Dat gas wine. Elia, you speak Slovakian, don't you? Girl, it ain't a language we don't know. You are more than welcome to find out the hard way or not. But I'm going to say again, for those of you who are scared of your true purpose, the only thing you're going to do is speed up your demise quicker. Okay? Death is not made to be scary unless you spend your whole existence offending her. Do not offend her. Oh, you didn't have to leave, Era. You could have stayed. You don't have to leave. See, that real authority will have people fighting themselves, putting their phones down for the first time. See, when that portal start using you and you can't use it, you know it's time to put it down anyway. You can't come over here and play because I ain't playing with you. Do you understand me? My authority don't have to be faked. I'll come see about you, baby. Hi there. How are you? No, 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 no. You can't clean thine self if you haven't been given, okay, a bloodline woman in your bloodline. You can't clean yourself, baby. Bloodlines are clean through the ancestral blood of the menstruation of the women in your bloodline. If they're not cleansing it, I don't care what type of man you think you are, your blood will always be unseen and unacknowledged in our realms because, well, you don't have women of authority and divinity surrounding you, and you need that. Okay, that's how you harness real nurturement. You can't nurture babies when you ain't got no connection to your higher divinity. Why do you think these women are so angry that they're not getting sons? Half of them are the pappy them damn selves. Okay, that's why they hate getting daughters. They're not in feminine energy. Ain't no feminine divine woman angry about getting no girl in her bloodline. That is a fucking blessing of the highest regard. You get boys in your family when you need to protect something. If you keep getting boys and not girls, you better be careful because, well, you could be protecting the wrong thing. You could be protecting a very, very dark woman, okay, who needs something very masculine to protect it, okay? Because women of authority, when you're sent men, those men protect you like the bog protects the vessels in the trees. I said what I said. You don't have to like me. I'm not here to be liked. And as much as you don't like me, how many generations have you not had to see my black ass? There's not a generation on this fucking earth you will never not have to see me because this is mine. And you know this. This is my land. And I said what I said. Every time you close your eyelids, you will see me. And one thing about me is I don't care how many times you open your eyelids, they will always be closed more than they're open. So imagine not wanting to see the very thing you have to see the most of. How dare you? Oh, who said let there be light? That's why light is so short. Okay? Only something that couldn't be seen in our realms wanted there to be light. Because the light you're supposed to have is supposed to be made to see from within so that it is shown out. See, one thing about the eye, let me tell you about how it works. The eye works like a projector, okay? It works like a projector screen. So if you know anything about a projector, it is set up like the pupil of the eye, okay? It is set up like the pupil in the eye. And in order for you to see anything outside of that projector and put it outside of your spectrum of sight, you had to add a light. Okay? Why do you think certain people only want to see light? Okay? Why do you think they only want to see light? Think about that. I'll say again, in order for anything to be seen on a projector screen, anything, it has to be given a false light. After it's given a false light, only then can you see all of the things that come from it. Okay? Who created false knowledge? Who created kindergarten through 12? Who created these religions? Who created these man-made languages? Who created all of these things to try to confuse us so that we can't communicate with you? But we know everything. Still creating fake knowledge as if it's going to be hard for us to detour. I say again, okay? For a lot of us, the saddest part about this realm is how many have to be destroyed, whose blood was given the power to not be. But when you rebuke yourself to uphold something that's less than yourself, well, we must let you choose what free will is given for. You can't get upset when you have to become the salt of the earth. Because regardless, we will still be here much after we take you away and use you for whatever we want to use you for. And usually that's going to be as compost. Because a lot of you guys are already very dead inside. So where are dead things usually the most useful? In the ground. And you fertilize it well. So I'm not here to make you think. I'm here to force you to think because, well, thinking is not something certain people want you to have the time to do at all. So spend your time wisely, okay? Because you don't have time to waste. After all, you are the only, okay, creature in this realm that is the most domesticated being. Even dogs are more in their essence than human beings. Even squirrels and bees, everything is naturally still in its form. But only one being here has chosen to merge with everything other than us. I'll let you figure that out. And after you're done figuring that out, I want you to tell me how it worked out for you when you tried to destroy New Orleans. How well did that happen for you? How soon did we come right back like we never left? In fact, we thank you highly for sending a lot of spiritual bloodlines into regions, well, where they could actually bind with the bloodlines that needed them in the first place. So you didn't do nothing but make things a little bit greater later, like you always do. And I say again, if you're interested, we're going to be doing some spell work later. And for those of you who want to be connected to your real spiritual guides in this realm, you are welcome to join my members only. If you do not want to join the members only, it's probably because you're not worth being a member. I said what I said. Okay, you can continue to let the blind lead you, or you can choose to wake up. Until then, I will talk to you guys, well, when you have the ears to hear. Have a beautiful day.